My child, I want you to listen closely to what I am about to tell you, because this is not just a story. It is a revelation of something that happened in a place not far from where you sit right now. It concerns a truth that has been hidden behind the thick walls of a hospital room. A reality so chilling that the doctors and nurses who witnessed it will carry the memory for the rest of their lives. Just a short while ago, something deeply unsettling took place. An event so heavy that it made even the bravest hearts in that room tremble with a fear they couldn't explain. You might think this has nothing to do with you, but I need you to know that this event is not distant or random. The woman at the center of this terrifying moment is someone whose identity will shock you when I finally reveal who she is. But before we get there, I need you to open your heart and steady your spirit. Because what you are about to hear is heavy. It is real. It is spiritually dangerous. And yet, it is absolutely necessary for you to hear today. Imagine a busy hospital corridor with bright lights and the sound of nurses rushing back and forth. But behind one closed door, something was happening that silenced the entire atmosphere. Inside that room, a woman lay on a delivery bed, sweat covering her forehead as her hands gripped the sheets in desperation. She was fighting through waves of pain. But this wasn't just the pain of bringing new life into the world. It was the pain of something far darker trying to escape from within her. The doctors were shouting instructions, their voices filled with urgency as the machines beeped wildly, signaling that something was terribly wrong. The air in the room felt cursed, heavy with a tension that made it hard to breathe. But the strangest thing wasn't the chaos or the fear. It was the woman herself. Amidst all the panic, she was unnaturally calm, her eyes still and her spirit unshaken. She looked like someone who already knew how this was going to end, someone who had accepted a truth that everyone else was too afraid to face. The medical team worked desperately, but every second felt like darkness was tightening its grip on the child she carried. And then in a moment that froze time itself, it happened. The baby was born, but there was no cry, no sound, no heartbeat. The room fell into a painful silence as the reality of the situation settled over everyone. A nurse gasped, a doctor stepped back in disbelief, and tears of fear gathered in their eyes. But the mother didn't scream or cry. She didn't ask why this had happened to her. Instead, she did something that no one expected. She lifted her head, closed her eyes, and whispered a single word. "Thank you." That whisper was soft, but it hit the room like a thunderclap, leaving everyone frozen in confusion. Clear's throat. People stared at her as if she had lost her mind. Because who thanks God for a dead child? You are probably asking the same question right now. Why would she be relieved in such a tragic moment? What did she know that no one else in that room understood? Her gratitude wasn't madness. It was relief. She knew something terrible about the child she had carried, something that bends the mind and twists the heart. The father of that child was not human. He was not a man of flesh and blood. He was a shadow, an ancient darkness that had been searching for years for a vessel to enter this world. He had come to her in dreams and whispers, slowly gaining access to her life, until she opened a door she couldn't close. She had invited him in without realizing what he truly was until it was too late. If this video brought hope to your soul, please like and subscribe. When the mask finally fell and she saw the true nature of the presence she had unknowingly allowed near her life, a terrifying truth became clear. If that child had lived, the world would not have been safe. If that baby had taken even a single breath, darkness would have entered the world through innocence. So when she whispered thank you, it was not a celebration of death. It was a cry of relief. She was thanking heaven for stopping a nightmare before it could begin. In that moment, she understood something few people ever realize. One life lost had prevented a far greater darkness from rising. Her words were not madness. They were gratitude for protection. If you believe that even the hardest moments in life carry a hidden purpose, write this in the comments. I trust the plan. Those words anchor your faith even when the full picture is still hidden. Now listen carefully, because the story is about to become personal. That woman is not a distant stranger living somewhere far away. She lives very close to you, only a few streets from where you are right now. You may have walked past her without ever realizing it. Her shadow has already crossed your path. And here is the unsettling truth. The same darkness that once targeted her has now turned its attention toward you. It knows your name. It recognizes your strength. And it is aware of the calling placed upon your life. This is why your spirit has felt under attack recently. This is why a strange heaviness has followed you quietly. But you do not need to be afraid. Do not let this revelation shake you. I have not abandoned you. I have seen every tear you cried in silence. I have lifted every burden that felt too heavy for your heart to carry. You may look at yourself and see weakness, but I see a survivor. You are still standing, still breathing, still moving forward. Not because of luck, because you were chosen. And your story is about to change. The battle surrounding you is coming to its end. The storm inside your mind is beginning to calm. The heaviness pressing on your heart is lifting. You are entering a new season where peace replaces chaos and clarity replaces confusion. I am breaking every shadow reaching toward you. I am removing every weight pressing down on your life. This is only the beginning of your breakthrough. But before the deeper truth behind that woman's story is revealed, there is something you must understand. Nothing happens without purpose, not in the visible world and not in the unseen. That woman did not suffer by accident, and the child she lost was not taken by coincidence. Even the moment you are hearing this message right now is not random. Something in the spiritual atmosphere around your life has shifted. It concerns your future, your calling, and your spiritual protection. Now listen closely. Inside that hospital room, something happened that no one else truly understood. When the baby was born silent, the room felt strangely heavy, as if the air itself had changed. The doctors believed the silence was grief, but the mother felt something different. Deep inside her chest, she felt a break, as though an invisible chain had just snapped. The moment the child left her body, the darkness that had surrounded her for months suddenly withdrew. The shadow that followed her everywhere loosened its grip and retreated like a defeated predator. The weight pressing on her ribs disappeared. For the first time in months, she felt she could breathe again. That is why she whispered those two words. Thank you. It was the relief of someone stepping out of a prison cell. Those around her believed grief had broken her mind, but what she experienced was revelation. She suddenly understood that the child she carried had never been meant for life. It had been meant as a gateway. A vessel prepared for a presence that had waited centuries for the chance to enter the world in human form. A child born of flesh, but carrying something not entirely human. When she understood what might have happened, she did not mourn only the loss. She mourned what the world had been spared. Her gratitude was the realization that heaven had intervened. One mother's heart was broken so that countless lives could remain safe. That is a burden few could carry. But now this truth moves closer to you. That woman was not chosen randomly. The presence knew something about her bloodline. It recognized the spiritual fractures that made her vulnerable. Without realizing it, she had opened a door, and something entered. Now that darkness has turned its search toward another vessel, it seeks someone spiritually aware, someone emotionally open, someone with a destiny. And that someone, my child, is you. The shadow has been circling your life, watching carefully, studying your steps like a predator waiting for the right moment. It searches for weakness in your armor. It looks for a crack through your fears, or a doorway through your loneliness. But what it does not understand is this. You are not alone in this battle, and the light that protects you is far stronger than the darkness that hunts you. It waits for the moment when you are most tired. That is when it whispers lies into your mind and presses against your thoughts while you are at your most vulnerable. This is why some mornings you wake up feeling heavy before your feet even touch the floor, as if a weight settled on you during the night. This is why your dreams have been strange lately, confusing, unsettling, leaving you disturbed when you wake. And this is why there are moments when you feel as if something is watching you, even when you are sitting completely alone in a silent room. Have you ever felt your mood suddenly drop for no clear reason? Or your heart begin racing without explanation? If you have experienced these sudden shifts, type "I am aware." Sometimes your spirit senses what your eyes cannot see. That unexplained exhaustion you feel even after resting can leave you drained in a way sleep cannot fix. But hear me clearly. Do not be afraid. Just as heaven intervened for that woman in the hospital room, heaven is intervening for you right now. You are not unprotected, and you are not fighting this battle alone. Since the day you were born, angels have surrounded your life guardians assigned to watch over you. They have protected you in moments you never even realized were dangerous. Attacks were planned against you that never reached you. Traps were set that never touched your path. People tried to harm you but could not succeed. Situations that should have destroyed you somehow passed by without breaking you. You may have called it luck. You may have thought it was coincidence. But it was neither. It was protection. It was divine covering. Heaven stepping in for you again and again. My child, do you realize how many times you should have fallen but didn't? How many moments should have shattered your heart forever, yet you kept moving forward? Think about the nights when pain nearly drowned you, but somehow you still found the strength to face the morning. Think about the situations that should have wiped you out, yet somehow they made you stronger. That is not ordinary resilience. That is supernatural strength placed inside you by your Creator. You were never fighting alone, not even for a single moment. There is a light inside you that unsettles the darkness, a purpose inside you that frightens the enemy, a destiny that he desperately wants to stop. That is why your battles have felt so heavy. That is why life has not always been easy. It is why betrayal came without warning, why relationships sometimes broke unexpectedly, why opportunities seemed to disappear just when they were within reach. The enemy targets what carries potential. He pressures what carries power. He attacks what carries purpose. And my child, you carry all three. This is why your spirit grows weary and your heart feels things so deeply. This is why your mind sometimes fights invisible battles that others cannot see. Why your emotions shift without explanation. Why your body feels drained even when nothing seems physically wrong. These experiences are not random. They are signs of spiritual sensitivity. Your soul feels what others overlook. You sense atmospheres and energies that many people never notice. Your spirit reacts to unseen realities because you were born with a calling that touches the spiritual world. And that is exactly why the darkness that once targeted that woman has now turned its attention toward you. It wants to silence your gift. It wants to cloud your mind and drain your strength so you cannot walk in the purpose prepared for you. But hear this truth. The light inside you is stronger than the darkness watching you, and what heaven has placed within you cannot be easily extinguished. The darkness wants to make you feel unworthy. It wants to convince you that you are alone and forgotten in this world. Its goal is simple. Break your spirit before you ever reach the destiny prepared for you. But heaven refuses to allow that to happen. Just as that woman received divine intervention at the final moment, heaven is intervening in your life right now. Barriers are rising around you, blocking every path the enemy once tried to use. The spiritual atmosphere surrounding your life is being cleansed. The whispers that once filled your mind with doubt are fading into silence. The heaviness that rested on your chest like a stone is being lifted. The fear that once tightened your stomach is losing its hold. The shadows that lingered near your life are being pushed far away, unable to return. You are not walking into darkness. You are walking out of it. My child, hear this clearly. Your mind will not break. Your heart will not collapse. Your future will not be stolen, and your destiny will not be destroyed. You are stepping into a new chapter where the darkness that once followed you no longer has access to your life. Protection is surrounding you more strongly now than ever before. Angels are not only watching over you, they are fighting for you. Now that your spirit is steady and your heart is awake, I can reveal the deeper connection. I can show you the hidden thread that links you to that woman in ways you never imagined. This truth is not simple. It requires courage to receive it. You must listen not only with your ears, but with your spirit. The reason her story entered your life today is not random. Her suffering, her encounter with darkness, and her whispered gratitude are reflections of a deeper reality connected to you. Darkness does not move randomly. It moves with strategy. When it loses one vessel, it immediately searches for another. That woman was chosen because something in her bloodline made her vulnerable. There was an opening in her lineage, a spiritual door that had never been closed. And now you must listen carefully. A similar opening exists in your bloodline as well. You and that woman are connected through a generational pattern that darkness once tried to use. The attacks on your mind, the heaviness in your dreams, the sudden waves of fear and anxiety. These are echoes of that same pattern. You have felt things you could not explain. You have sensed danger without understanding why. At times you carried emotional burdens that did not seem to belong to you. These are signs that something ancient has been watching you, testing whether you could become another doorway. But hear this truth. You are not like her. You are stronger. You carry a deeper purpose and a higher calling. Your destiny was designed to break generational patterns, not fall into them. This is exactly why darkness is drawn toward you. Light attracts resistance. Purpose attracts pressure. Destiny attracts spiritual battle. The presence that once tried to enter the world through that woman turned its attention toward you when its plan failed. But when it looked at you, it did not see weakness. It encountered resistance. It struck a spiritual barrier it could not understand and could not break. There is a light within you that it cannot dim and a strength it cannot penetrate. That is why the attacks against you have been emotional rather than physical, mental rather than visible. Darkness realized it could not enter your life directly, so it changed its strategy. It tries to weaken your spirit by whispering lies into your thoughts. It tries to burden your heart with heaviness until you feel like surrendering your strength without even realizing it. Its goal is simple: make you abandon your destiny before you ever walk into it. Think about the moments when exhaustion came over you without reason, the sudden waves of sadness that appeared out of nowhere. Those moments were not random. They were attempts to drain your spirit and cloud your purpose. But they failed, because the light protecting your life is stronger than the darkness trying to reach you. Think about the moments when you felt overwhelmed even though nothing was wrong, or when you suddenly felt numb and disconnected from the world. Those feelings were not random mood swings. They were darkness pressing against your spirit, searching for a crack. But here is the beautiful truth. Every time darkness pushed against you, heaven pushed back harder. Have you ever wondered why you are still standing after everything you have been through? Why your heart still carries hope when it should have given up long ago? Why your mind did not collapse under the pressure you faced? It is because angels were positioned around you long before the enemy ever approached your life. Divine protection surrounded you before the attack even began. The one who created you refuses to let darkness write the final chapter of your story. You have been preserved, shielded, and guarded in ways you cannot even see. Every night you cried yourself to sleep thinking you were alone. Heaven was there. Every moment your soul felt like it was breaking, heaven was holding you together. Every time you whispered, "I can't take this anymore," heaven heard you and lifted you again. You survived storms meant to destroy you. You survived heartbreaks that should have shattered you completely. You survived disappointments that should have drained every ounce of hope from your heart. But look at you now. You are still here, still breathing, still believing, still rising. The darkness is not after your destruction. It is after your purpose. It sees what heaven placed inside you, even if you do not fully see it yet. It sees your future victories. It sees the calling resting on your life. It sees the light you do not even recognize when you look in the mirror. It sees the breakthroughs rushing towards you and the blessings already being prepared for your future. And it knows something else. Once you fully step into your purpose, you will become dangerous to its kingdom. Because you are the one chosen to break patterns that have trapped others in your family for generations. My child, you were never ordinary. You were never average. Your spirit was chosen for something powerful, something uncommon. You are the one in your bloodline meant to break what others could not break. You are the one who will heal wounds carried for generations. You are the one who will end battles that began long before you were even born. You are the one who will close the doors darkness once used to enter your family. You will stand where others fell. That is why the enemy pursued you so fiercely. And that is exactly why heaven protects you so strongly. Now listen carefully. I must reveal something about your connection to the woman. You are not connected to her through relationship, but through pattern. Her story reached you because heaven chose you to finish what she could not. She fought a silent war alone without understanding what was happening. She endured the battle, but the weight of it broke her. You, however, are not alone. You are not blind to the truth. You now understand what she never had the chance to see. You carry the strength she never had the opportunity to use. You are the one chosen to end this cycle once and for all. Have you ever felt like the black sheep in your family? The one who thinks differently, who feels different. Many times, that feeling means you are the cycle breaker. If that speaks to your spirit, type I am the breaker. And now let me tell you something you may have felt, but never understood. The reason your life has carried so much spiritual pressure is because you are transitioning. The reason for the strange dreams, the unexpected battles, and the sudden losses is because you are entering a new season. The reason friendships have shifted, people have changed, and your heart has faced deep inner conflict is simple. You are being prepared for the life you were meant to live. You are entering the season where heaven activates your protection fully. The darkness can feel it. It knows its access to your life is fading, and that realization terrifies it. It senses the walls closing around it, and that is why it is trying to attack your mind one final time. It hopes that if it can shake your thoughts, it can still make you fall before your destiny unfolds. But every attack is failing. Every lie is collapsing. Every plan formed against you is falling apart because heaven has already made its decision concerning your life. You will rise. The next phase of your life will not be defined by fear. It will be defined by breakthrough. The next chapter of your journey will not be covered in darkness. It will shine with light. The story ahead of you will not be filled with endless struggle. It will be marked by peace, clarity, and divine alignment. You are stepping into a season where everything that once tried to drain your spirit will leave your life completely. Every shadow that followed you will disappear. Every heavy weight inside your spirit will lift. Protection will multiply around you. Blessings will begin to surround you. Opportunities will start moving toward you instead of away from you. Joy will return to your heart. And your purpose will become clearer than it has ever been before. But before you fully enter this new season, there is one final truth that must be revealed. One last piece that completes the entire picture. You must understand why the darkness targeted your lineage in the first place. You must understand what that child was truly meant to become. And you must understand the spiritual inheritance waiting for you now. Take a deep breath, my child, because this is the moment where everything you have heard finally connects. You have walked through the story of that woman. You felt the weight of her suffering and understood why she whispered thank you in the middle of her devastation. But there was something hidden beneath the surface of that story the entire time. Something older than fear, something deeper than darkness. The presence connected to that child was not a wandering shadow. It was an ancient entity, older than empires and older than the stories humans tell about demons. Long ago, it possessed power in unseen realms, but it was cast out and stripped of its authority. Since that moment, it has searched relentlessly for a way to return. It cannot enter the world openly. It requires a human doorway. It needs a child born of human flesh, but spiritually open enough to become a vessel. That is why it chose that woman. That is why it targeted her bloodline. And that is why everything changed when the child was born lifeless. That child was never meant to live an ordinary life. It was meant to be a gateway, a shell through which something dark could enter the world again. Now listen carefully. This is where the story reaches you directly. That woman's bloodline is connected to yours through a spiritual pattern formed generations ago. Small cracks were created long before you were born, doors that were never fully closed. Through those openings, darkness observed your lineage for years. For generations, the same struggles repeated themselves: emotional battles, mental warfare, Brokenness passed quietly from one generation to the next. The enemy searched those cracks again and again, looking for a vessel through your family line. But every time heaven intervened, and every time the enemy failed, when it lost its chance through that woman, it turned its attention toward the nearest soul marked with purpose. You. It watched you. It circled your life. It tested your spirit. That is why you felt the pressure in your mind and the strange heaviness around your life. It was searching for weakness. It was trying to see if your spirit could be broken or if your heart could crack open the way hers once did. But my child, you are not her. You are not vulnerable in the same way, and you are not spiritually blind. Your spirit is sharper. Your light is stronger. Your heart rejected every dark whisper that tried to enter your life. Heaven surrounded you, and your purpose became a shield that darkness could not penetrate. The enemy realized something important about you. You are not a doorway. You are a wall. You are a breaker, a destroyer of generational patterns. Instead of gaining access through you, the enemy lost the foothold it once held in your bloodline. You did not just survive the attack. You weakened its influence over your entire family. You endured what others surrendered to. And now your life is shifting. The spiritual weight you have carried is beginning to lift. The confusion that followed you is breaking apart. Your dreams will calm. Your mind will clear. Your heart will finally feel lighter. Opportunities will open again, and your purpose will shine brighter than ever before. The same darkness that once searched for you will not touch you again. The pattern is broken. The cycle has ended. The spiritual door is sealed. My child, your future will not look like your past. The struggles you walked through will not repeat. You are stepping into a new chapter where blessings flow freely and favor finds you without struggle. Heaven has declared that your season is changing. You are stepping out of warfare and stepping into peace, stepping out of fear and stepping into strength. You did not survive those battles by chance. You survived because you were being prepared for this moment. The storms strengthened you. The heartbreaks expanded you. The silence sharpened you. You are not entering this new season empty-handed. You are fully equipped. Soon you will feel joy where heaviness once lived, and clarity where confusion once clouded your mind. You are protected. You are covered. And you are chosen. You are rising. And nothing can stop what heaven has written for your life. My child, if this message confirms what your spirit has already been sensing, do not let this moment pass. Lock in this new season of protection. Click the subscribe button and join this growing family of believers. Together we will walk forward into the victory that has been prepared for you. Subscribe now and step into your destiny.